Hi there, I'm Carlie. I'm from Richmond, Virginia in the United States. I took the CELTA through Missouri State online in July of 2020, and I'm here to share a little bit about that experience and why I absolutely recommend it to anybody who's considering English instruction as a career move. So the CELTA had been on my radar for several years prior to me actually taking it. I had done some study abroad in my college years and wanted to find ways where I could work and live abroad and had a background in education and felt like, oh, maybe I could teach abroad. So definitely wanted to take the CELTA at some point. I have changed my focus over time. I really want to be invested in the communities where I live and want to serve as a support in whatever way that I can. With my background in teaching, that has kind of been part of what that's looked like. So I've done some volunteer work in Richmond, in Washington, D.C., and now in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I live, because there's folks from all over the world who live in the United States and people who speak English at different levels and who want to learn. And I wanted to support them in that endeavor. So I did often feel like I didn't have all the tools that would make me the most effective teacher for my students. So really did want to take the CELTA, even if I was just going to continue in a volunteer capacity. I wanted to be a strong teacher for them. So I had explored few different locations where I could take it, and just the way that things shook out, I noticed it was available online during last summer, and I signed up, and I'm really glad that I did. So in addition to getting the full sort of CELTA experience, I did get some instruction for how to teach online, and that has just been super with what I'm doing right now in my kind of English teaching capacity, which I'll speak about in a moment. I really felt like my instructors were just so excited and available and motivating, and I always felt like the expectations for me were extremely clear from the get-go, and if I had any questions I could ask, and I did, and always felt okay about asking questions. Sometimes that can be a little intimidating, but never with my instructors. I feel like I could still reach out to them now with questions, and they would very gladly support me. So at Missouri State, you're gonna get that kind of care and attention that I think is really, really crucial when you're doing a potentially stressful and intense course. I think there was a good balance of structure and getting through the content in an in-depth way. We were certainly challenged and pushed, but we also laughed a lot, and they were flexible with everybody's different levels of comfort or their abilities as students ourselves. We all had different strengths and weaknesses, and I think they really had that in mind while they were teaching us, which was amazing. It felt very, very tailored, even though it was largely in group settings. There were lots of opportunities to learn from my classmates. I felt very close to all of them, and again, this was on Zoom, and this was in height of the pandemic. So to have that space together where we all had a goal in mind and we all had each other, it was very special. I think like I said, the volunteering I've done in the past, I felt like I was lacking a bit in what I could give to my students, and currently I am volunteering online with a couple students who live in Colombia, which is really cool, full circle, because during our CELTA instruction, we were teaching students, many of which who lived in Colombia because of the sister school that Missouri State has down there. So I love that that's all kind of coming back together. I found an organization, I think I was on like Volunteer Match or something, and found an organization that is based out of Florida but connects students from different parts of the world. Just so happened that my students live in Colombia, and I was able to connect with them online, which has been wonderful. It's been a full year now that I've been working with them each week. And again, having that CELTA as a baseline was invaluable. The organization I'm with is a nonprofit, so I think sometimes things can be a little swirly with nonprofits. So the kind of guidance I was given was, here are your 2 students, here's approximately what their levels are, have fun. And I was like, okay. So I felt like I could kind of get to know my students, hear a little bit about what they wanted to learn, what they wanted to get out of our time together, and create my own curriculum or like classes each week based on those needs. I think if I hadn't had the CELTA, that would have been a very intimidating setup, and I might not have gone forward with that organization, but it's worked out really, really, really well, and I feel like my students are enjoying their time, and I am as well, and they're learning, which is the main point there. So yeah, again, with that online instruction that we received as CELTA candidates, I've been able to translate that into my work with my 2 students. And because I've been with the organization for a year now, they've actually offered to start paying me for my time, which is really cool. I didn't know that would ever be an option. I was very content to continue volunteering, but nice to know that I am now kind of seeing the fruits of my labor, and having invested in the CELTA, I'm able to kind of earn a little bit because of that. So that is just once a week for an hour with my students. My kind of like day jobs are a little unrelated. I'm doing construction administration, and I work in a yarn store, so not quite the same, but I think if I wanted to pursue English instruction as a full-time gig, then I totally could. I feel very confident in that, and I have the CELTA / my instructors at Missouri State to thank. So totally 2 thumbs up for anybody who is kind of on the fence about it. If you want to teach English, I really recommend it. I think it takes a very special person to want to be a CELTA instructor, and you're gonna get that kind of like intense care and enthusiasm and like attention as an individual from whoever's administering your course. So yeah, I think Missouri State has done a phenomenal job of adapting for different learning situations, pandemic and otherwise, and I'm so grateful that I was able to learn from them and receive my certification at the end of my time. So yeah, thank you so much for taking some time to consider your options with Missouri State, and I wish you the best of luck in what you do next. Bye.